Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle here, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 most anticipated 2013 video games. Now, last year I did a similar list like this, and some of those games, they met my expectations, they were exactly what I wanted them to be, whereas others kind of, surpassed what I was expecting from them, and were even better than I expected. And then other games didn't exactly quite make it. For example, Mario Party 9, I should have known, that's my fault, that was not going to be the greatest game of 2012. But another one was Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was my number one most anticipated game of 2012. And it was good, but not that good. I thought it was going to be like, mind-blowing, one of the greatest games of the last few years, and it didn't exactly quite live up to that hype. There was another few games that I didn't get a chance to actually play and pick up. And then there's another few of them that are actually going to be released this year, or, maybe after that. They're just being postponed. So anyway, this list, though, basically every one of these games should be coming out this year, basically confirmed to come out this year, except for one of them, which is rumored to come out this year in the spring. And that's my number 2 spot, but I had to make this list. I couldn't make this list without it because I'm so hyped for it and I cannot wait for this game. It's my number 2 most anticipated game of 2013 if it comes out this year. So that's my little explanation for this. So let's get on with the list. Another thing too, though, is there's so many games coming out this first 6 months, and we have no idea what's coming out in the fall. No idea. The fall season is always the biggest time for video games, but that's kind of different. Like February to March, insane amount of games coming out, especially March. March is like the fall season of 2013, basically. It's insane how many games are coming out that month. But anyway, so yeah, E3 is just going to be nuts. It's going to be like, here's your new systems that are coming out, here's all the games. I guess that's why they're waiting. So anyway, number 10, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is not a series that I really like. I played a few of the PlayStation ones. I played a Dreamcast one. Never beat them. I was never really that into them. However, when I saw the gameplay of the new Tomb Raider that's coming out, I was just mind blown. I was like, my God, that looks like Uncharted, but like with a more open world or more free feel to it. Not as linear. Still linear because it looks like you have to go into certain areas to hit these specific scenes and stuff like that, but not as linear. And I was just like, my God, if that's going to be at all, like, if the rest of the game is like that gameplay trailer, I'm going to be quite happy with it. Next up is BioShock Infinite. Now, the cool thing about BioShock is that it's kind of old school, but also mixed with a bunch of new stuff. Now, what do I mean by old school? It's not like, a generic first-person shooter where you have to go here, shoot this person, keep going to the next room. No, it's like the older PC first-person shooters where you'd have to go into a map and explore every nook and cranny of that map to get keys or different upgrades or whatever you need to move on to the next place. And you have to backtrack a bit every once in a while. And that you don't see a lot in first-person shooters anymore. And that's what I really love about the BioShock series. Another thing is that the new stuff that I like about it is that the art style it's not super realistic, which makes it that much more different from all the other first-person shooters. Once again, because it's kind of cartoony, but not cartoony in a way. It's like a graphic novel. It's a dark graphic novel art. It's not super realistic, but it's still gritty, and I just love it. And it's also set in the 1960s. It's underwater and everything. However, this game is going to be in the air, and man, it looks fantastic. So I cannot wait to play BioShock Infinite. Next up is number 8, which is Pikmin 3. This will be my only Wii U exclusive because there aren't a lot of games that Nintendo has announced. I assume E3 they're going to announce a bunch of new games that are going to be coming out in the fall season. But Pikmin 3 is the only Wii U that I really want to pick up. There's probably a few others that I will be picking up, like Rayman Legends and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. But Pikmin 3 is the main one, and we've been waiting for a long time for this, and I just can't wait to throw Pikmin again at various monsters and get them to do my bidding and all that kind of stuff. I really also want to see if they integrate the gamepad, which I assume they do, but I'm not 100% certain. I just really hope that they do integrate it, and if they do, what they do to integrate the gamepad with it. Maybe fling your... I don't know. Anyway, next up is Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Now, this was one of those games that was on my 2012 list because it looked like it was going to be released in 2012, but it didn't, and it's going to be released this year instead. And it's not as high as it was last year. So that means that a bunch of games have actually surpassed it once again this year. And that's because StarCraft 2, I've played 300 hours in StarCraft 2. Love the game to bits. And this thing is going to change that. My next 300 hours are going to be completely different from the first 300 hours. So it might be a very positive thing, but it could be a negative thing as well, and I'll just be like, what the heck am I doing? So I'm just a little bit nervous. I think it'll be a positive thing, but I just know that it's going to completely change the landscape of StarCraft 2, hopefully for the better. And also, I really want to play the single player game. The campaigns for any Blizzard game, the narratives are just always spot on, and I love the lore and just everything. I love everything about it. Next up is number 6, and that is The Last of Us, the PlayStation 3 exclusive made by Naughty Dog. Now, Naughty Dog is an amazing company. They make the Crash Bandicoot games, the first ones on PlayStation 1, Jak and Daxter, and Uncharted. And Uncharted is some of the best games that I think we've seen, in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii era. It's just, I love them. I love Nathan Drake. I love the music. I love the platforming. I loved Sully. I loved everything about it. There was just so many positives of that game. And it just felt like you were in an epic Indiana Jones style movie. Now this, The Last of Us, is more of a post-apocalyptic world where you have to keep your resources, and you don't have like tons of bullets like in Uncharted. You have maybe 4 shotgun bullets and maybe like a few bullets in like a Magnum. It's ridiculous how many like few bullets and you have to conserve, and if you don't have that, then you have to use like whatever's around you, or your hands. It's nuts. It seems like you're using a lot of stealth because you're afraid of other people coming over and like trying to beat you up and kill you, or rape the girl that's with you. It's insane. How they really got down the feel and idea that you're in a post-apocalyptic world and you have to like look out for yourself, basically. And I cannot wait to see how this game plays out. Next up is a Nintendo Wii game. Yes, a Nintendo Wii game, not Wii U, Wii. Pandora's Tower. I just did a video about this. Pandora's Tower is the last game in Operation Rainfall that we wanted to get to North America that we are finally getting. I love The Last of Us. I just actually now ordered Xenoblade Chronicles, and Pandora's Tower is the next one up. And another thing too, it's going to be $40. Instead of 50 or 60, it's going to be $40. So I highly encourage you, if you have a Nintendo Wii or even a Wii U, because you can play Wii games on the Wii U, and you like RPGs, pick this game up. Please, please. Check out the gameplay. If it seems like something that you would like to try out, please pick it up. We have to support Operation Rainfall and show that Operation Rainfall was right, and that Nintendo of America was also right in allowing this to be localized over here. So that's just my little thing that I wanted to add in there for Pandora's Tower. It's an RPG that's coming here, and it's kind of different because the girl that's with you, she needs monster souls, and she's still slowly turning into a monster. So you have a timed thing that you have to go and get, kill a bunch of monsters, give the souls or hearts to her. So it's kind of different, but I'm quite excited for it. Next up is Pokemon X and Y. Of course Pokemon had to be here, especially when they announced that it is going to be a 3D open world. It's exactly what we've been wanting, a 3D Pokemon game. Man, that's just nuts. No longer the top-down view anymore. And I've been wanting this since 1998, ever since I beat Blue version. At the time, I thought they were going to make a Nintendo 64 game like that. Never happened. We got Stadium and Coliseum and all those games like that, but it's not the same. And what can I say? Pokemon 3D. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Next up, we are now at number 3. And that is a game and that's why I'm doing the list right now, is because the game is coming out in a few days from now. Ni no Kuni, the PlayStation 3 exclusive. Man, I cannot wait for this game. This game, I don't even know how to explain it. It's some kind of JRPG where, there's the cutscenes are animation, like, anime, basically. But when you play the game, it is such a colorful world, and it's very cartoony, but it looks sleek at the same time. It just looks fantastic, and it has to do with, I don't know, it looks kind of like Pokemon in a sense, because you have like a monster that's with you and you fight other monsters that are in the woods with the monster. I don't know if you can fight as well, because I didn't play the demo. I stayed away from the demo because I want my first experience of Ni no Kuni to be the actual game, not the demo. I don't want to, play the demo and then have to wait a few more weeks. I don't want to lose that hype. I want to go in there fully hyped, and I am as hyped as I can be at the moment. I'm actually so upset that I missed out on the Wizards Edition. Wizards Edition is their special edition, which came with like a bunch of goodies. There's a plush of like the main monster, which I think is called Drippy. I could be wrong there. And also a hardcover of the book that's also incorporated in the game for like your spells and your monsters and all that. And it just looks so fantastic. And I'm so upset because it's sold out basically everywhere. The only place I could get it is I'd have to wait until a person who had pre-ordered it, and it'll be on eBay, but it's like $200. It's like double the price of it. And I'm tempted, but I'm not that tempted to do that. If I found it anywhere else that they had a few left in stock. They did a few days ago, and I missed it by like a few hours. It was the 17th, and I saw that they had a few on that day, but they released them at 10 a.m. and it was like 10 p.m. and they had none left. And I was like, God, so close yet so far. But anyway, I cannot wait to play this game, and it's just a few days away. Freak. If you have a PlayStation 3, check the trailer out for Ni no Kuni if you've never heard of it before. Next up is my number 2 spot, which is rumored to be coming out this spring, and that is Plants vs. Zombies 2. I had such a fun time playing that game, beating the game for the first time a few months back. It is one of the greatest tower defense games I have ever played. You plant flowers and plants to fight off zombies from coming into your house on your lawn. It's ridiculous. It's not as cartoonish. It's cartoony characters and all that kind of stuff. But man, it is such a fun game because you only have a certain amount of slots to use. Like, I don't know, 30 or 40 different plants and flowers, and you have to pick which ones you want to use, and you have to you strategize, and you have to figure out how you're going to plant all of them. It's insane. It's just nuts. It's so addictive. It's so fun, and I can't wait for this one. Now, my next one is my number 1 most anticipated game of 2013, which was also on my 2012 list because at the time we didn't know what year it was going to be coming out. I think it was in the top 5. I'm not exactly sure what the placement was at the time, but it's now my number 1 most anticipated game of 2013, and that is Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm a Grand Theft Auto guy. That is my series ever since even the PlayStation 1 games, with Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2. I liked them, and then Grand Theft Auto 3 was just like, this is exactly what I want in a game. And I don't think Grand Theft Auto 5 will be that big of a leap from 2 to 3, but it seems as though they're trying to incorporate more things into it. Like, if you like sandbox, open world type of games, they're incorporating as much as they possibly can into this. It just looks like it's insane, and it's going to be. They've said that they're trying to have more missions that are different, so it doesn't feel like you're just going around in this sandbox world doing one mission that's similar to all the others. Pick up this person, drop them off, go kill this one person. They're trying to make it all very different, kind of like the bank heist mission in Grand Theft Auto 4, which is praised as one of the best missions of Grand Theft Auto 4 because it was just nuts. It was nuts, and they're trying to make a lot more missions like that. And from the trailer, there's so much going on that it really looks like they're going to achieve that. So that's my number 1 top game that I'm frothing at the mouth here. I just cannot wait to play this game. Basically, though, my top 5 are really the games that I just cannot wait for, and I'm glad that Ni no Kuni number 3 is being released in 3 days. Yeah, I can't wait. So anyway, that's my top 10 list. Let me know what your top 10 list is, or what your most anticipated. It doesn't have to be your top 10. It can be your top 5, top 3, top 4, whatever the heck it is. Just let me know what you're most anticipating. Maybe I missed a few games, that I should be looking into. It does happen. So anyway, thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage!